So good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Unity Correspondence course. And we're here on the fourth Sunday of Advent, continuing our reading of the text from the Great Demonstration. I was hoping maybe we could finish this by the end of the year. And since we have one more Sunday to go, maybe we will. So we started this in January, at the beginning of this year, and we've gone all the way through together through the first six lessons. And so let's just settle in and take a moment to presence the divine. There's only one presence, one power, one love active in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And as we look around the room, we acknowledge where two or more are gathered in the name and after the nature of that great presence. That presence is here. We support each other through our choice to say yes to God, to help each of us presence that, feel it, know it to be true. And with that, let's invite Lillian to read today's daily word as I bring it up on the share screen.
The word today is joy. Joy uplifts me as divine light shines from within me. As Advent season draws to a close, I celebrate the light that glows from within me, the light of the Christ within. Just as the three wise men journeyed to Bethlehem to see the newborn child, my journey through Advent has led me to discover the faith, peace, and love that are always mine. These are the true gifts of Christmas, ones I carry with me all year long. No matter the challenge and obstacles I may be called to face, I will draw from my infinite storehouse of joy to remain optimistic and centered. Joy is mine today. It is the fulfillment of my Advent journeys, my divine inheritance. It is in the fullness of my heart, the contentment of my mind, and the deep feeling of wellness in my soul. I am joyous. And from Matthew 2:10, when they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy.
Thanks, Lillian. Joy uplifts me as divine light shines from within me. Let's affirm that together. Joy uplifts me as divine light shines from within me. Yeah. Thank you. So last week we read paragraph 37. We were in the category, what is the law of the spirit of life in Jesus, the Christ Jesus? And we're ready to move on to number 38. But before we do, as always, any thoughts, reflections, any questions that are left over from last week that anybody would like to raise or share? If not, we'll move ahead then to number 38. Who would read paragraph? Who would read paragraph number 38?
I'll give it a try, Marty.
All right, Belden, thank you.
The body must share in the scheme of salvation, for it's a temple of the living God. And the whole creation groaneth, waiting for the redemption of our body. Thanks, Marty. One may redeem one's body by understanding truth and by holding words of truth in mind until they become a part of the subconscious phase and are built into the flesh. The word must be made flesh through the law of righteous thought. The flesh, nourished and sustained by thoughts and words of truth, is immortal and incompatible
Incorruptible.
and incorruptible. It is not subject to decay or death because it is formed of the pure substance of spirit and is eternally renewed by God's life and power.
Thanks, Veldin. So, what I find interesting at the beginning of this sentence here is that the body must share in the scheme of salvation. What do you hear in this paragraph? Or what's your reflection or your thought?
My first thought when I heard that was, uh-oh. Oops. And it's a way different message than Paul's message. And Paul's message is, for the way I understand it, is the flesh is weak and needs to be dominated. I don't know what his message is, but it's not this. So that was my first thought.
Okay, thank you.
I was puzzled by this word groaneth. Does that mean waiting for? Groaneth?
Groaning. Ah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does Leo's evocation help you there, Lillian?
Well, I don't know how it relates. The whole creation groaneth, huh?
So it groans. So groaneth is just Old English for groans. Groans waiting. So we're waiting. The waiting makes us groan that it hasn't happened yet.
I think John's point about, I'm not really a biblical scholar, but about the body is diminished in the way that the scriptures talk about what we have to do to achieve or attain enlightenment. It's kind of like this damn body. And what this says to me is like the body must be incorporated, and I'm going to use the word honored, although I don't see it there, but it must be acknowledged and brought along and uplifted, not diminished and like cast aside, like, boy, when I die, I'm going to be, elevated because I'm leaving this old trashy body behind, or this old heavy body, this old dense body that's holding me back.
Okay, thank you. Leo.
Thank you. My perception is that the body is the accumulation of my consciousness. And part of it is greatly subconscious because I have it on leash from, let's say, race consciousness. And so with the body, I'm learning. And without the body, I cannot learn because you need resistance in something to stop your movement. You have to stop. There's something that has to stop. So you realize there is something here that needs to be examined, needs to be looked at. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Leo. Gretchen?
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad we brought this up. One of the things that I've discovered in looking more at what the words are that Paul has spoken about is that there are times when the English that says the body means one Greek word, and there are times when it means another. And so there isn't a lot of distinction in what we see in English translations between soma and sarx are the kind of the two Greek words and that get to the body, and that there's times that are about the physical body, which is the soma, and that's I think what it was that Myrtle was really focused on giving attention to and consciousness to, and that is the kind of physical temple, and that sarx is more of a description of the body that is about desire, that is about kind of the appetites, is another way that I think it's described. And so I appreciate that the what John brought up in that relation to the beginning of like that. And so considering the body, it has two different words that are describing it. I think that can give a little bit of, for me, a little bit of illumination of what's actually happening here. And I think there's a place of groaning that happens between that when we're moving out of sarx and into soma, moving out of the appetites and desires and into the physical temple that is that for the spirit to hold.
How do you say that? Spell that second word, soma and sart?
Sarx is the English kind of word for that, the fleshly nature. I'll take a picture of a little summary that strangely AI did a really nice job of summarizing the two, and so I'll drop that in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Sarx
informative.
leads to two interesting English words: sarcophagus,
Yeah.
and sarcasm.
Oh,
Interestingly enough, Janet.
interestingly enough.
Yeah.
Janet has the shameful share to say that I refused or couldn't even deal with a body until I was 52 and had the brain aneurysm. The brain aneurysm was the wake-up call that, honey, we're working here within a physical system, and you have no power and you have no control. And look what just happened. That was pretty much in my first conscious thoughts when I came back into the real world, that I had been very, one might say crazy, but I had nothing in that way. I don't know if this relates to what Gretchen says, but I didn't have it. And then I was forced to get it. And I did my best for 20 years. I mean, I really did my best, but I didn't really get it until I started aging. And when my body started aging and doing very odd and unexpected things, I thought, this is the final stage. You are now really going to work with your body and understand what this is about and how it connects to your soul and your spirit. So I'm a late bloomer, I think. And the opposite of my peers, my age group, lived on the exercising and the all the self-help physical things in the 80s and the 90s and the OOs, and I just never got it. So I'm trying now. I'm trying.
Excellent. Thank you. Anything else on this paragraph before we see if there's some illumination in the next?
Well,
further illumination? Yeah, Belden.
What occurs to me as I read this and think about it, when you realize our body is a perfect temple. When you consider all the things that make our body work, and when you get into the medical world and find out all the solutions they have for deviations in our body, it in itself, it almost seems all we have to do is do the other part and everything will be perfect.
You raise a question for me, though, Belden, with what does it mean to be that the body is a temple? What does it mean, the temple of the living God?
I think that's what Myrtle figured out. You know, I think that was her epiphany. And what the whole unity work was founded on, quite frankly, because she was there before Fillmore was. And then the next line, one may redeem one's body by understanding truth and by holding words of truth in mind, and because they come until they become a part of the subconscious space. I mean, that's what she did, and that was the essence in the beginning of unity.
Cool. Thank you. Gretchen?
Thank you, Claudia, because the body in that Romans 8 piece of scripture is the soma. It is the physical body that is for us to be perfecting as the temple. So I'm in alignment with you. Thanks.
Actually, I just AI'd Sark and Soma. Thank you for that. That's very powerful.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, thank you.
I think also I'd like to throw out the notion, this is always where Jesus keeps coming from. The Father and I are one. So who's the I and the Father and I are one? Well, is it the Father and my disembodied spirit, or is it the Father and the totality of me that is both spirit and flesh? So I think what we're being asked to consider here is that the flesh, the human body, and by extension, all physical reality is also divine. It's equally divine with the spirit or with the consciousness, the super consciousness, the mind of God, as we've talked extensively in these lessons so far. And I think, Claudia, that correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's partly where you were going with your observation about Myrtle and her insight. That if the mind of God and the body of the human being are one, then health becomes claimable.
Well, that's what Myrtle thought. Yeah.
Right. Well, she didn't just think it, she demonstrated it.
Did it. Yeah.
Anything else?
Imagine having that belief, so to work her belief so thoroughly, or with so much faith, maybe I'll use that word, that she did it for 2.5 years until she had her demonstration of this in her physical body. I mean, that's a long time to not give up and think you might be wrong. I mean,
That's a long time to not have results show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Janet.
Well, Claudia, that reminded me of how much when I talk so much about Myrtle and Emily Cady, and I am speaking from the place where I just explained, to starting to read her letters and the truth statements and things and saying, "Oh my God, you have been so wrong, Janet. You thought you were doing right, but you've been so wrong." And that the fact that Myrtle took it all so seriously and went on to add food to it, that what you ate and what you drank and all of her sharings and letters and everything, every day I would think, all right, Janet, you've got to do better today. This is serious. And it was a long time into that process that I knew about the 2-year time frame, but I was never willing to sign on for it. But I did, and it worked in the same way. It was about 2.5 years, I would say, of a lot of complaining and a lot of self-imposed limitations until I just thought, stop. You must start to try to do things that you've told yourself you can't. And just like Myrtle went through cleaning her house one day and going top to bottom and doing the house cleaning, I always could remember that and think, all right, you can do blank. You can put out the trash, or you can do this or that. And that's when it turned for me. And it's been now probably maybe a year and a half and led me to this particular group that has reinforced my willingness and determination to not admit sickness, ill health, symptoms, and I continue to take no medication. nowhere along the line has anything I've read in the original Fillmore teachings told me that I need to be taking all these things that they want you to take as soon as you walk through the door with the primary care system. And I just say, no, no. And I used to apologize, but I don't apologize anymore. And I just say, no, I've long come to, I'm not taking that. Whatever's going to work, it's going to work out for me in the way it's supposed to. And I feel much more grounded and much more hopeful. And in my other spiritual group that I've been in for many, many years, my ideal is joy because it has been for a long time. That if you can just get past all the garbage that comes at us every day and let spirit kind of work through whatever's in there and in the head, that feeling of joy really does come forth. And it's so much better place to live than my scared place of living. So that's it. Pass.
Bravo.
Thanks, Janet. Anything else before we move on? Okay, who would read paragraph 39?
I will.
Thanks, John.
Love is the great organizing power of being, God, and is an essential factor in demonstrating eternal life. Love, united with wisdom, harmonizes all the functions of the organism and saves mind and body from the destructive, disintegrating effects of jealousy, hate, and anger. Divine power gives dominion and establishes in man's mind a positive force which prevents the forming of negative states of mind that cause conditions of weakness. When one perceives that the body is an instrument of spirit, such perception helps to redeem it from the belief that it is merely physical or of animal origin. Every one of the attributes, ideas of being, has a place in the work of redemption. Ooh. Every idea has a specific function to perform. Mysteries of Genesis 21. One should keep the life, intelligence, love, power, and substance of spirit active in the body by giving attention to these qualities or ideas in meditation and prayer. The conscious thought should be carried through the organism every day, giving to every part of the body words of truth, there's that word again, that will quicken it and make it truly God's temple. Silent holding of these quickening words. I'll read the spirit of him that raised up Jesus quickens my body. My mind is a temple of the living God because the Spirit of God dwells in me. The law of the Spirit of life in Jesus Christ has made me free from the law of sin and death.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
Thoughts, reflections? What do you read in this?
I'm surprised it doesn't mention love in those silent, quickening words.
Huh. Yeah. On the bottom three, I think.
Right.
The sentence that stopped me, if you could take that off. Every idea has a specific function to perform. That's mind-boggling.
Do you think that's in regard to the affirmations of life, intelligence, love, power, and substance? Like, every idea has a specific function to perform.
Right.
So make sure or be mindful that your ideas are in alignment with, as opposed to letting them go off into a negative space, your ideas.
Yeah, that's where I was, because I have a lot of a lot of stuff going through my mind. It's like, and then to say every one of them has a specific function, um, is probably an admonition to focus on something. Yeah, yeah.
I think that's related, John. Consider the possibility that's related to the accountability practice principle that life happens for me, not to me.
Yeah.
So every idea has a specific function to perform, and it includes our choice of how to receive and respond to the idea that jumps into mind.
Yeah.
So is it something that will strengthen me or something that will weaken me?
Oh, you're talking about choice. In
Yes.
the Ernest Holmes principle, every thought is creative and influential. That
Yeah. That's the way I read it.
okay.
You know, where it says toward the end there, the conscious thought should be carried through the organism every day. that comes back down to prayer and continually having an affirmation that we keep repeating. And as the Fillmores did, she did that every day. This meditation, and excuse me, the saying the same affirmation every day. And if, as we continue to say the same affirmation over and over and over again, pretty soon our brain begins to digest that and begins to believe it. And once we begin to believe it within our body, it brings about the things that we're affirming.
Absolutely. And if we sing it, it's even faster. Because it involves more parts of the brain.
Can you demonstrate that, Claudia?
Oh, I could. I just have to pull up Bill's Joy songs. You know, every little cell in my body is happy. Marty sang that to me today. I mean, recently, a couple of days ago. But yeah, it's effective.
I've got the joy, 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 joy down
Down
in
in
my
my
heart.
heart, down in my heart.
So yeah.
I was you know, when John was reading, I was struck that, you know, life, intelligence, love, power, substance. There we go. There's like 5 of the 12 powers, you know, that Charles so much advocated, as Veldon was talking about, you know, grab your affirmations and just say them, and till your brain comes to, maybe what's happening is that you're trying to get you're working to align your conscious mind and your subconscious mind through these affirmations with your higher conscious mind. And if you're not mindful, you end up in a place of possibly worry or diminishing yourself with your words, which are another form of affirmations. I'm so stupid. I'm so sick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sick and tired of this. You know, I mean, I'm just going to X all those out, but, you know, we do it subconsciously and then consciously.
Well, until if we do this with enough discipline, as Myrtle taught us, then the subconscious mind changes and begins to adhere to the affirmed intentional ideas.
That's right.
So for 2.5 years, she affirmed her body was healthy, she inherited no disease. And one day, the subconscious mind produced that in the outworking of her body. And then she didn't have to go back because she had I like to think of it as like there's this inner balance between the old thoughts and the new thoughts. And at a certain point in time, we cross the line and the new thought permeates the subconscious and now works for us rather than against us.
Do you think that's like a toggle switch, or do you think that you can slide back and you have to be mindful of
I
backslide?
think that my experience with this is that once you cross a threshold, everything now accretes, everything comes in around that new idea, and it just strengthens the new idea rather than going backwards. That's my experience. Gretchen?
Yeah, my sense is that this is related to the groaning that was in the section that we read before. And my experience is that the whole creation groaneth, waiting for the redemption of our body, that when there's that place, it tells me that the that tipping point is close, and it's not just a tipping point of like 51%. It's more, it's like being shoved through a window and then the window closes behind me and then the window disappears. And there, you know, through a new reality. But we got to get through that place where the creation is groaning. You feel it in your body of being so close to that new reality, and you keep working it, keep working it.
Thank you. Is that related to the Buddhist idea of the gateless gate?
I hadn't thought of that, but I think you're right.
I don't know the gateless gate.
I'll tell you the gateless gate, and then I'll ask Janet to share. The gateless gate is just similar. It's like we trudge through life and we come up against a gate and we don't know how to get through it, and we're frustrated, we fume, we're angry, we groan, and then we just sort of let go and get through the gate, and then we turn around and we found there was no ever a gate there in the first place. It's just something our mind created. And so the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. The Lord createth the gate, the Lord taketh away the gate. What do you want?
I mean, I think the gate's there. That's why I kind of pause on the gateless
Right.
gate. I think the gate, it is, you know, at least it's presence in our consciousness. So then
Exactly.
that's presence.
Yes.
But I do think I do believe that it is removed.
Exactly. Well, that's the point. I think the point of the koan is that there never was a gate there in the first place, except that we created it there.
And then it was removed. Yeah.
Right. Janet.
Okay, I obviously trust you all a lot because I say things here that I'm very careful who I say it to. This is one of them. For months, maybe a year, I have had a metaphysical scenario that I have imagined where I'm in a train station and I carry the big roll of tickets like they do at carnivals and give out raffles and things. And there's a train in the station waiting, a big black train, and a conductor. And when my mind starts to go to something negative, scary, whatever, I say, "Oh, you need to get on the crazy train." And I give that thought a ticket, and he walks out, and the conductor ushers him onto the train. And when the train is full, it leaves the station. And I have a little flag, and I go get my flag that says victory. And I go out and wave goodbye to the train. And I can't say that some of those themes they don't recur. They do recur occasionally, but less and less. And they know what you're talking about, these neural pathways. My psyche knows that I have shifted my perspective. It's shifted, and you are going to be rejected if you are telling me something scary or negative, and you will be put onto the crazy train. So it's been working, and I'm so surprised I talked about that out loud, but there you go.
It's a nice metaphor.
Yeah, it's fabulous. It's more than a metaphor, it's a great tool.
And it embodies non-resistance, Janet. I think that's the beautiful thing about it, because you're giving that thought a ticket and then saying, proceed forward right here, and not trying to resist it.
Right. I agree. Yeah.
Cool. Anything else before we move on? Okay, who will read number 40?
I will.
Let's read 40 and 41, okay?
Mhm.
Thanks.
To speak some word that has direct reference to a particular part of the body is sometimes a help in awakening life in that part. For instance, if you wish to feel the quickening power of the word in your feet, you will find it easier to center your attention on them if you concentrate on statements like these. My feet are established on the rock of Christ Jesus. My feet are filled with the quickening, vitalizing life of spirit, and they love to express it. Jesus said to the woman of Samaria at the well, if thou knowest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The water that I shall give him shall become in him a well of water springing up unto eternal life.
Thanks, Della.
Related to part 40 of that truly was the 12 powers that Dorothy put together, that Marty sent out to everybody, that I had a copy of, because she basically directed us or taught us to to work at different parts of your body, and when you were done, your whole body was alive with those affirmations of power and truth. So I really like, I mean, that's Fillmore right there, and he was, Dorothy's mentor, saying, give the word to that part of your body that is holding, that you perceive as holding you back.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Other thoughts?
I can't find the hand raise function, so I'll.
John?
Yes, thank you. This validates the work I do, and Marty's referred to it as accountability process. To go to the body sensation, and it can be in a part of your body, and listen, or be with, or resonate. I see the body now as a Google map to my fulfillment, um, which I estranged myself from early in my childhood based on family of origin dysfunction, childhood trauma. So this statement actually validates, says in a different way what my experience is of feeling tones or body parts or pains in certain areas are specific to certain information. So thank you.
Thanks, John.
Can somebody rephrase the quote underneath 41? It's a little convoluted to me.
Anybody want to take that on?
I don't know. That's big.
So what does water mean metaphysically here? Leo?
There is a woman doctor in South America that has been examining the interstitial fluids. And she found out that the interstitial fluids vibrate on a frequency and they crystallize in a way that you get zero resistance. That means that at that moment, electrons flow. And I believe that is in a technical explanation of what is going on if you are talking about the living waters. Because if you are able to get away from all the resistance that we have built up in the physical body, then these vibrations will occur in a conscious way. Thank you.
Thanks, Leo.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
And I think the next paragraph goes into it, John or Adela. Let's see if that's helpful. Who would read 42?
I'll read it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
What is the river of life? How do we become conscious of it? In Revelation, this water is described as a river of water of life, bright as crystal. This great fountain or river of life is the activity of the life idea, the life principle, the I am or Christ within a man. Man becomes conscious of this life when he comes into touch with the quickening power of spirit through sincere desire to know God and feel his presence. The life idea is the desire of God for self-expression. It is the active or positive energy of which divine substance is the negative, responsive, or passive counterpart. It flows through man, a life-giving stream of intelligent, vitalizing energy, renewing and restoring the body to the wholeness of spirit. To know about this life energy is not enough. It must be felt. The consciousness must receive it and feel it filling and thrilling the body from the innermost to the outermost parts of the organism. There can be no death where this life stream flows. It flows freely and conscious and consistently when the Christ righteousness opens the way, and it keeps spirit, soul, and body eternally renewed. This is what it is to be saved to the uttermost. Hebrews 7:25.
Thanks, Gail. So, Della, does that help?
Mhm.
Any general thoughts or specific responses to this reading?
Yeah, where it says the quickening power of spirit through sincere desire to know God and feel his presence. We've started out talking about man within man, and that our Christ consciousness is within us. And then they throw in God, and it suddenly takes a two-part situation. And to know God, it seems to me that really means for us to know ourselves, or to know our spirit and our consciousness within divine order.
Okay. Thank you.
There's a Lessons in Truth chart book that towards the end of it shows, I should say God, and then Christ, and then the 12 powers flowing through man. And I like that, how it connects to the second to the last sentence about that the river of water of life flows freely and continuously when the Christ righteousness opens the way and keeps the spirit, soul, and body eternally renewed. That it's that Christ consciousness within man that we recognize and call forth by name opens that gate, and the flow is just then we are in flow, and then the ideas of the gate disappear.
Thank you. Other thoughts? What caught me in that one, Gretchen, is the idea of feeling it, filling and thrilling the body.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been feeling it ever probably since we got to 38. It totally turned on inside, and I can just feel the vibration rolling through as everybody's been talking and digesting the power and all of this, and that it's the light, it's the light, it's the life, it's the love of God flowing in and through us continuously this world without end.
And I make the maybe a radical point. The radical point is whatever it is I'm feeling is the divine energy. It's not like there's a certain feeling that's divine and everything else isn't.
You're probably right. I just probably I haven't grown spiritually enough to accept all of them as with as much grace as I think that thought embodies. But truth be told, I think you're probably right on that.
It's just something I stole from Eric Butterworth in his Practical Metaphysics book.
I mean, that's hardcore. Like that's black belt metaphysics to
I'm
be in that
hardcore. I'm
place.
hardcore, Gretchen.
Thank God.
Can you say that again, Marty?
Yeah. So the idea that I learned from Eric Butterworth is whatever it is I'm feeling in my body, whether it's like right now I have a little sore throat, that's divine energy. Whatever I'm feeling, I feel the cuff of my shirt against my wrist. That's whatever we're feeling is God. It's this feeling, feel it filling and thrilling the body. All feeling is divine. And just from an intellectual perspective, which of course is not always the right way, but if God and I are one, if there's only God, if there's only one presence, one power, one love active in my life, then all the things in my life are God. Where is God? What is there in my experience that is not God?
It's an interesting question when you might have said an unkind word or done something that you think might not have been your highest self, to think, oh, here I was not being my highest self, and that's still God.
Yeah, that's radical.
Yeah, it's easier for me to go with a train and just put those
I like that.
less than higher God thoughts on the train, even though they're God. But I don't know. It's black belt metaphysics. Yeah.
Okay.
Janet.
I can give you another one from a friend of mine who's a Tibetan Buddhist monk. And she's been telling me for years. She said, you're a thinker, you're a talker, you're a reader, and they're all going to kill you. You need to be a feeler. You need to let yourself stop thinking about how to explain it or what it means and just feel. And I'd say, oh, yeah, that's Tibetan Buddhist stuff. I don't get it. And I was very dismissive and very I didn't give it any weight until I started reading Myrtle's stuff. And then slowly, we're talking 20 years of slow and huge medical brain events trying to help me stop thinking and start feeling. And with my little my little scenario with the train and the tickets, I don't have to think about anything. I just give it a ticket because I know it's not good. I don't have to analyze why. I don't have to come up with a statement in a book and tell someone and say, oh, this just happened to me. I just have to feel it. And it's doing a lot of good. It's doing a way lot of good. I did more yesterday physically at the tree trimming event than I would have ever deemed possible. And I gave it all the credit back to my spiritual re-education of the past 15 years. And my Tibetan Buddhist friend is still alive. She's 90 something. And I called her and I said, you know what? You were right. It's about feelings. And she laughed. She said, I hoped I lived long enough on the earth to have heard you say that. So these people and the Fillmore people have got it. And I've been listening to Shad, who's got a thing going every Sunday morning. He gives a lesson from the early Fillmore stuff. And he's easy to listen to, too. I get at what he's talking about. And it's different, sort of, than what I was thinking. But those Fillmores have got it all for me. And I don't need to worry about any spiritual seeking from now till the end. And that's a big relief. So that's that. More feeling, less thinking, and definitely less self-recrimination. So done.
Thank you. So this is we're coming to the end of our lesson together, this poem here. And it might be a good idea to cap our time together on this. Who would be willing to read In the Beginning?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Why don't we split it up? I mean, it's a long poem.
Right. So why don't we have Gretchen, you read the first part and Diane will read the second part.
Okay.
Love it.
Thank you.
Is it called In the Beginning? Is that the name of the poem? In the Beginning. The great God dreamed a dream through me, mighty as a dream of God could be. He made me a victorious man, shaped me unto a perfect plan, summoned me forth to radiant birth upon the radiant earth. He lavished gifts within my hand, gave me the power to command the thundering forces that he hurled upon the seething world. Creation's dream was wondrous good had I but understood. The great God dreamed a dream through me, but I was blind and could not see. My royal gifts were laid in rust. For parentage, I claimed the dust. Decay and sorrow, age and blight, these gifts I deemed my right.
Okay. The great God spoke a word through me. That word was life. How can it be that I, in God's own substance made, should face the universe afraid? Born of eternal life am I. Why should I fail and die? O God, so huge was thine intent, so greatly was thy passion spent. This counterfeit is not the plan that thou didst dream for man. 'Tis this: man's dream must mate with thine. Man's word, man's life must be divine. Man must be conscious through and through to make thy dream come true. By Angela Morgan.
Wow.
Thanks, Diane and Gretchen.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Consciousness, Marty,
Through and through.
through and through. That's the charge. It's Christmas week.
And what a perfect metaphor as we celebrate the birth of this consciousness, the birth of the divine consciousness in each of us, symbolized by the birth of the little baby Jesus. Any last minute thoughts before we wrap up?
That is an
Yes.
amazing poem. That is so powerful. Wow.
Can I read something from Luke chapter 1?
Sure.
This is my parting thought for the week. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth a son, and shalt call his name Jesus. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father David, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. The house of Jacob, I think, is the 12 powers.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
On that note, my friends, we had agreed a couple of weeks ago, we discussed what we would do next, and I'm going to bring us the Fillmore Statement of Faith that we'll go through those, and then we'll pick up those who are still hardy enough to hang in there with this. We'll pick up the advanced course next year. So that this we were able to get through these 6 lessons with each other for 12 months, and there's 12 more in the advanced course. So maybe we, as Mark Hicks says, maybe we can get through that in 2 years. So again, thanks everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Thanks,
finish.
everyone.
You're welcome. Let's finish
Wonderful
with the prayer for protection together. The light,
The light of God surrounds us.
The
The
love
love
of
of
God
God enfolds us.
The power
of
God
God protects us.
The
presence of God watches over us.
Wherever
Wherever we are,
God
God is.
and
All
is
is
well.
well.
All is well.
Thank you.
Happy
Thanks,
holidays,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great to see everyone. See ya
Yep.
in a week.
See you next week.